Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome you to the June 29th, 2021 meeting of the Calvert County Board of Commissioners. At this time, I'd like to ask Commissioner Hart for the invocation, please.
Dear Lord, we thank you for this day you've given us and this wonderful community we live in. And we ask you for peace in our community and in our world. And we ask you for wisdom and ask you to look over people that are in distress and the stressfulness that this virus has caused and the things in our nation, and watch over us. And thank you, Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Yeah, as the administrator just mentioned, we're back to a full house today, and that's very good
Yeah.
to see from our perspective.
Try to feel normal.
Absolutely. So, next item on the agenda is to approve the agenda. Are there any changes, additions, or corrections? Hearing
No, Mr.
none.
President.
Chair would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve agenda.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second to approve the agenda. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Next is public service announcements. The only service announcement I have for today is we are approaching July the 4th. We want to wish everybody that have a very happy and joyous day on July the 4th, but be safe, especially if you're handling fireworks. And I do want to let everybody know the Solomon's fireworks are on, so you can go to Solomon's and enjoy the fireworks on the 4th. But please be careful in your recreating, no matter whether you're on a boat or no matter what you're doing. Please be safe. We want everybody to have a good time, but be safe. So that's all I have. The next item on the agenda is proclamations. Commissioner Hart.
And Shannon, you want to get it started?
Absolutely, it's my pleasure. So Shannon Nazal, Director of Parks and Recreation, and I'm so happy to be here today for the proclamation of Parks and Recreation Month, which is the month of July. So this is something that the county has done for the past, I believe this is our 4th year proclaiming July as Parks and Recreation Month in the county. It has been a proclamation nationwide for many years through the National Recreation and Parks Association to be able to emphasize the importance of parks and recreation in local communities. No year more than the last year has been a testament to how essential parks and recreation is to our community. Parks have been open the entire time through this pandemic, and we continue to serve our community throughout that time. And without the amazing staff that we have in our Calvert County Department of Parks and Recreation, it would not be possible to be able to offer these services to the community. These folks work tirelessly day in and day out to make sure that we are able to serve the needs of our community, to promote both mental well-being and physical well-being to our community and the visitors in our community. So I've brought along some folks today that I would like to recognize who have been nominated by their supervisors as very able members of our staff who have put forth amazing effort in the last year to ensure these great things for our community. So I'd like to invite a few of our staff up. And first, I'd like to welcome up Kevin Chang. He's one of our pool managers.
Come on up.
Kevin has put in amazing effort to be able to get our outdoor pools open this summer, putting in that extra work, extra time, working overtime to make sure that our pools are open and that our staff are able to know what how they're able to deal with, work with the public and give that service to our public. So, Kevin, this is for you. And then if you want to go on up. Next is Joy Weir. Joy is our therapeutic recreation supervisor. Joy has put in so much work when it comes to therapeutic recreation, not only in Calvert County, but across the state, as the chair of the Therapeutic Recreation branch for Maryland Recreation and Parks Association. And she is actually the brainchild of our inclusion camp this summer, which is going extremely well. That brings in some of our citizens with disabilities into our regular summer camps and have that inclusion aspect to make sure that they're all one as a member of the community. And next, Amy Working. Amy is one of our naturalists with natural resources, and Amy is instrumental in a lot of our programs with natural resources. And throughout the pandemic, being able to offer some of those programs to the public, and just the knowledge of our naturalists and Amy that bring that to the community to teach about environmental sciences and conservation to the public is just outstanding. So thank you, Amy. Lavon Chase. Lavon is one of our outstanding members at the Chesapeake Hills Golf Course. She is very humble, as you can see, and she is just an amazing asset to us in Parks and Recreation. She is always there to help out our customers. She has an amazing attitude and is always on point to make sure our customers are happy. Thank you, Lavon. Linda Jones. Linda Jones is our events and marketing coordinator, and Linda has done an amazing job implementing our special events policy and manual, as well as being a very instrumental part of our marketing force to make sure the community knows what we're doing in Parks and Recreation and that essential work that we're doing. So Linda works tirelessly to make sure that we all look good and that we're providing the community the information that they need in order to be supported by Parks and Recreation. So thank you, Linda. Brian Grabarek. Brian is our Assistant General Manager at Chesapeake Hills Golf Course. He is also the guru of all things management and operations within the food and beverage world at the golf course. He's our culinary expert, as well as runs tournaments like nobody else, and always getting amazing compliments from tournament planners on the great work that he does to make sure that all their needs are met and our customers have a great experience out at the golf course. Thank you, Brian. Nate Smith. So Nate is our newly promoted Recreation Division Chief. However, he has held many, many titles within the last couple of months. He's been our acting aquatic supervisor. He was our acting Recreation Division Chief, all along with being our sports coordinator at the same time.
Nate
So
gets calls 24/7.
Nate,
Yes, Nate is the unofficial guru god of fields. Like all volunteer coaches, that's a fact. I've heard that firsthand. Yeah, they love Nate.
Nate does an amazing job of making sure that all of our citizens, especially those that are playing on our fields and coming out to our spaces, have the best experience possible, and that we're able to make things work for folks even in tough situations. So we really appreciate Nate's leadership. He's done an amazing job helping out with our aquatics team and leading our recreation division, and he's works tirelessly. I mean, he definitely one of our staff that is a true asset, and I'd be up a creek without him. That's for sure.
Oh, you'd have a revolt.
Thank you, Nate. Leonard Goddard. So Leonard is our parks maintenance mechanic, and without Leonard, a lot of our things would be broken. So Leonard does an amazing job, not only working within our Parks and Safety division, but when other divisions call for that help, such as aquatics, he's right there to be able to assist and help get things ready and fixed up, make sure that they're ready for inspection, and he does it with in the most humble manner as he can, and his work ethic is second to none. He does a great job, and is happy to provide that service to the entire department, and we really appreciate his work. Thank you, Leonard. Jordan Daly. So Jordan right now is our acting park supervisor with Natural Resources, and Jordan took this position. He was with the Parks and Safety Division up at Dunkirk, working the fields up there. And through Jordan's hard work and dedication, he was selected to be acting park supervisor for Natural Resources due to his great work. Jordan, I've never seen Jordan without a smile on his face, and he always has a great attitude, and everybody that comes in contact, Jordan is in a better mood because of it. And we really appreciate his hard work and his dedication to the department and the county. Thank you, Jordan. And I don't know, is Ricardo here? No, okay. So we have so many amazing employees in Parks and Recreation, and these are just a few of them. The Parks and Recreation Department, we house over 280 employees during our slow season. So when we get into the summer, it swells up even more than that. Not so much this year, since it has been a little bit difficult hiring folks, but it just goes to show the tenacity and dedication of those employees that we do have. And we want to, with this proclamation, recognize them for their hard work.
All right, well, before I read this, and you guys know how much I love Parks and Recs because I wear you out with phone calls. You know, Parks and Recs touches everybody. And I mean, when you sit at the fields, you see from babies to seniors. It's so important. It really is. And I mean, to talk about anybody that would be leaving somebody out, it is such a remarkable group. And, you know, self-confession, I have two kids that are, one is now 20, that's not using as much anymore, and a 12-year-old, and we're on the fields all the time. And it's just everything. I mean, I just wouldn't even know where to start. Everybody knows how much I love the golf course. We are going to have some really cool news coming real soon. From everything, though. I mean, I've called, I'm scared to death of snakes. So I will call, and I'll say, hey guys, how do you stay away from those things? And, you know, I know they have to be going, why is a county commissioner calling me asking me about snakes, you know? I've asked, how do you get seagulls off piers and stuff like that? I mean, people ask you all kinds of questions. I don't know, so I call you guys. I mean, I in the last 7 years, the crazy phone calls that I have called you guys with, and they're like very serious and, well, you know, this, and you're just a remarkable, remarkable group. You really are. So I'm really thankful that I get to read this to you guys. And I'm sure I'm leaving something out, but whereas parks and recreation programs are an integral part of communities throughout this country, including Calvert County, Maryland, and are vitally important to establishing and maintaining the quality of life in our communities, ensuring the health of all citizens, and contributing to the economic and environmental well-being of a community and region. And whereas parks and recreation programs build healthy, active communities that provide therapeutic recreation services for those who are mentally or physically disabled, aid in the prevention of chronic disease, and help improve the overall mental and emotional health of all citizens. And whereas parks and recreation programs increase a community's economic prosperity through increased property values, expansion of the local tax base, increased tourism, the attraction and retention of businesses, and crime reduction. And whereas parks and natural recreation areas ensure the beauty of our community, provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature, recreate outdoors, improve water quality, protect groundwater, prevent flooding, improve the quality of air we breathe, provide vegetative buffers to development, and produce habitat for wildlife, thereby proving that these areas are fundamental to the environment well-being of our community. And whereas the U.S. House of Representatives have designated July as Parks and Recreation Month in Calvert County, Maryland, recognizes the benefits derived from its vast parks and recreation resources. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners that the month of July be known as Parks and Recreation Month in Calvert County. Be it further proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Calvert County encourages all citizens to recognize the accomplishments and contributions of our local Department of Parks and Recreation as well as federal, state levels given under our hands and seal this 29th day, June 2021, signed by all the county commissioners.
Congratulations. Thank all of you for what you do.
Thank you.
So the next item on the agenda, proclamations, item number 2, Commissioner McConkey.
Is Susan Justice here? Come on up. Anybody want to say a few words, Jennifer, anybody?
I think we all plan on saying a few words.
Go ahead.
Good morning. I'm Jennifer Moreland, Director of Community Resources for Calvert County Government. I've had the privilege of working alongside Susan Justice, the Aging Services Division Chief, this past 4.5 years since I've been in this position. Of course, I've reaped the benefits of her 23 years of the expertise in the field of aging, and not to mention finance. She's a whiz. While she is a subject matter expert on the myriad of programs and made possible through the Older Americans Act, and she can share all sorts of expertise on that front, she's also very special because she is intuitive and compassionate and practical in her approach in dealing with very complex aging issues. And we're going to see more of those, Susan, so, you know, it's going to be tough not having you here, but I know your number.
Get a new phone.
Buddy's going to need her number for sure.
She's actually brought a number of new programs just in these past 4.5 years, and I've really relied on her wisdom to bring those forward to you. And so the expanded behavioral health programs, the senior care case management, senior rides programs, I could probably keep going, a long-term care supervisor position, and we've needed all of these desperately, and she's made it possible. So I have so much gratitude for her and her wisdom. She's also championed a number of programs, and I will be directing the new division chief to champion those as well. And that includes senior rides, dementia-friendly communities, and the AARP aging-friendly communities. I know the older adults in our community will miss her dearly. She's actually been on a farewell tour the past few weeks at all of the centers. And they've really enjoyed having her back and seeing her since the centers have been opened in May. She takes great care and compassion in her relationships with the senior participants and in our community and with our staff. And her management team is here today. We have Ed Sullivan, Lisa Cottle, Tanya Taylor. Where's Patty Ryan? Patty Ryan, she's hiding in the back. She has probably hired most of the employees at Office on Aging, and let me tell you, they are phenomenal. I'm sitting there hearing the recognition to the Parks and Rec employees, and I'd love to do the same because these people are all phenomenal because of her phenomenal judgment. And, you know, that's irreplaceable. I'm really, really going to miss you, Susan. And I know some of you would like to say a few words, too.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I am Tanya Taylor, as Jennifer said, Client Services Manager with the Office on Aging, and I'm happy to be here with my fellow management team this morning, and so I'm just going to speak for the group. There are so many wonderful things that we can say about Susan. She has set an example of what a great leader is, And as she moves forward into this next phase in her life, we wish her nothing but the best. She's kind, she's caring, she's compassionate, and she's dedicated to the seniors of this community. And she's allowed us to grow and evolve as staff. And as the managers here today, we're all very fortunate because Susan saw something in each of us to bring us on as management for the Office on Aging. And we can assure you that we're going to try our very best to continue to set the bar high and to follow the example that Susan has set for us. And when we think about retirement, we like to think about people kicking back and relaxing, but we know Susan better than that. And she's a go-getter. She doesn't sit still, and she's dedicated to the community and to her family. And while I know she's going to find moments to sit back and relax, I know she's going to continue to help all of the seniors in the community. So don't be surprised if she's pumping their gas or loading up the groceries or standing in line at DMV for them, because that's just who Susan is. And we just love you so much, and we thank you for everything that you've done for us.
One more thing, a surprise. What Susan doesn't know is that she's receiving a secretary citation from Rhoda Kramer for all her work for the aging community. I know the M4As and the Maryland Department of Aging are so appreciative of you. And I love Bernice Hutchinson with the state said, she is no nonsense. And it's true, she is. But that's, yeah, but that is just what we need. And we continue to need. So anyway, thank you, Susan.
Anybody else? All right, I'll read the citation. Whereas Susan A. Justice, Office on Aging Division Chief, will retire on July 2nd, 2021, after dedicating 23 years of faithful and loyal service for the seniors of Calvert County. And whereas her career began with Calvert County government on May 4th, 1998, as an Aging Services Fiscal Manager. She served in the capacity until August 17, 2008, when she was promoted to the Office on Aging Division Chief, where she served until her retirement. And during her tenure as Division Chief, Susan provided reliable and excellent service, gaining tremendous respect, trust, and admiration from Calvert County citizens and regional and state level organizations. She managed staff at 3 different senior center locations and constantly participated, often in a leadership role, with the Maryland Department of Aging committees, and earned a reputation as a subject matter expert on all areas related to aging. And as a tireless advocate for Calvert County seniors, Susan actively worked to identify and address current and projected needs effectively. She held an instrumental role during the construction of the North Beach Senior Center and expansion of the Southern Pines Senior Center wing, and implemented new federal and state aging programs, including Maryland Access Point, case management for home and community-based programs, and long-term care and guardianship programs. Whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Calvert County presents this proclamation as a tribute to Susan's outstanding accomplishments during her distinguished career, thereby recognizing this amazing individual who strives to improve the quality of life for Calvert County seniors. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Calvert County that the appreciation of all Calvert County citizens is hereby extended to Susan Justice on her retirement after 23 years of public service. Be it further proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Calvert County joins with the community and co-workers, family, and friends in conveying best wishes for a long, healthy, and happy retirement with continued success in her future endeavors, given under our hands and seal this 29th day of June 2021.
Congratulations. really big show when Mr. Sullivan showed up. So I could never pass it up.
With Ed Sullivan and Tom Jones.
I know.
Is Tom out here?
No, he's not here now. That's what I'm saying. We have
We
to
can't let him
people
in
here.
at the same time. That's true.
Thank you. Can you send that to me?
Thank you.
But can you do the voice?
Really big shoe.
So the next item under proclamations is another retirement, Gail Wyckoff. So if Gail's here and anybody else wants to step up. Mr. State's Attorney, welcome.
Thank you, thank you. I'll just leave that where it is. Good to see you all this morning.
Good morning,
see
sir.
you.
Good morning. Gail, you ready?
Come on up.
Good morning. I'm Robert Harvey, State's Attorney for Calvert County, and I'm pleased to be here today to recognize the service of Gail Wyckoff. As you know, Gail is retiring in July after a 16-year career in the State's Attorney's Office. During her career, Gail distinguished herself as a fierce advocate for the rights of crime victims. It wasn't just a job for Gail. She dedicated herself to making sure that crime victims and witnesses were treated with respect and dignity. In other words, Gail really cared. There's a term that may sound a little quaint today, which is public servant. But Gail was truly a public servant. What I mean by that is that she willingly sacrificed her time and interests for the good of the public, especially the victims of crime and domestic violence. You know, a few minutes ago, we heard a presentation from Parks and Rec, and they were recognizing the woman who worked in the field of therapeutic recreation. I said to myself, where do I go to get some of that? Well, Gail, now you have the opportunity to get some therapeutic rest and relaxation. And don't we all? And so we're here, some of your coworkers are here with us to wish you well, all the best in your retirement. We know now that you're going to finally have some time to enjoy your kids and your grandkids. So all the best wishes. Thank you.
So I have a proclamation. Whereas Gail Wyckoff, victim witness advocate with the State's Attorney's Office, retires on July 6, 2021, having dedicated 17 years of faithful and loyal service to the citizens of Calvert County and the state of Maryland. And whereas Gail's admirable career began on April 5, 2004, as an Office Assistant 3 with the Board of County Commissioners. Her position transferred to the State's Attorney's Office on December 20, 2004. And she was then promoted to Victim Witness Advocate on August 3, 2009, and served as the Victim Advocate for the State's Attorney and Deputy State's Attorney for the last 16 months of her career. Whereas Gail has provided reliable and professional service during her career, thereby gaining respect, trust, and admiration from Calvert County citizens and fellow constituents who had the pleasure to work with her. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Calvert County presents this proclamation as a tribute to Gail's outstanding accomplishments during her distinguished career, thereby recognizing this amazing woman who strives to improve the quality of life for all Calvert County citizens. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Calvert County that the appreciation of all Calvert County citizens is hereby extended to Gail Wyckoff on her retirement after 17 years of reliable and commendable public service. Be it further proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Calvert County joins the community and Gail's co-workers, family, and friends in conveying best wishes for a long, healthy, and happy retirement with continued success in all her future endeavors. Given under her hands and sealed this 29th day of June, 2021. Thank you. Congratulations. We're going to take a picture. Bob, you want to come up?
Sure, thank you.
Anybody else want to come up?
There's Rick here. Harvey, stand right up here proudly.
Oh, yeah.
Good seeing you.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter.
Have a great retirement.
Thank you. Here.
So next item on the agenda is appointments. Deputy Administrator Vasallo.
Good morning, Commissioners. Linda Vasallo. You have two appointments today. The first one is for the Gambling Permit Review Committee. And staff is requesting a motion to reappoint Raymond Mahar and Dustin Walker.
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
Have a motion and a second that we reappoint Raymond Mahar and Dustin Walker to the Gambling Permit Review Committee. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 3-0.
All right. Your second round of appointments are for the Calvert County Commission for Women. Staff is requesting a motion to appoint Dion Corley and Susan Midget. And upon appointment of that, you will still have 4 vacancies, which we're recruiting for.
Move to approve, Mr. President.
Second?
So we have a motion and a second to appoint Deanne Corley and Susan Midget to the Calvert County Commission for Women. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 3-0. So next item on the agenda is a public hearing. Department of Budget and Finance.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Commissioners.
Morning.
Background. In August 2020, Calvert County was hit by a powerful tropical storm. This caused damages in excess of $7 million. Public Safety has applied for assistance from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, and considers a 75% reimbursement very likely. Discussion. These dollars are significant and should be reflected in our FY21 budget, and the likely reimbursement should be accrued as revenue. The budget adjustment requires a public hearing because it's in excess of $150,000. Physical impact. There are many unknowns, and these estimated numbers will be adjusted as the work is completed. FEMA allows us until August 4th, 2022 to complete the work. The attached sheet, Exhibit A, shows the estimated county expenditures on the storm of $7,570,570.23, and the expected reimbursement from FEMA of $5,677,927.67. The difference of $1,892,642.56 will be paid with the favorable variance in the recordation tax line. Conclusion recommendation. Staff recommends that after taking public comment, the Board of County Commissioners close the record. Staff will return following the completion of the 10-day waiting period for a decision by the board.
Thank you. So do we have any callers?
Commissioner, there were 5 persons on the line, which means there are 2 outside callers. So there are 2 public hearings scheduled for today. All public hearings were duly advertised and certificate of publication is made part of the record. Those who have called in and wishing to speak on this first public hearing are being asked to press star 9 to raise your hand. You'll be identified by the last 4 digits of your telephone number, and you'll be provided an opportunity to speak. Please identify yourself by name and city, and whether you're speaking on behalf of yourself or the designated representative of a group. Please press star 9 if you wish to speak on this first public hearing.
There are no speakers.
no speakers, commissioners, you're welcome to move forward with closing the record. This item will return after a 2-week waiting period.
Motion.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to go with staff recommendation and close the record after completion of the 10-day waiting period to ask the board to adopt and sign the resolution to increase the FY 2021 budget.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second to close the record, and staff will return after the 10-day waiting period for a decision by the board. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank
I
you.
do want to thank staff for their persistence because I believe the first application was denied by state and feds. So I want to appreciate the efforts from the staff to persist and get that reimbursement. Most of you will recall from that storm, we had significant damage, washed out roads. And so it's always good to get some reimbursement from our friends to cover those costs. So again, couldn't have done that without staff. Like I said, they got denied the first time, but they kept at it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
You too.
The second public hearing, Department of Finance and Budget.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I'm Mary Lehman, Grants Coordinator with Finance and Budget. Today, we are going to talk about coronavirus aid, relief, and economic security CARES Act budget adjustment. The background. On March 17th, 2019, Calvert County declared a local state of emergency due to the effects of the coronavirus. The United States Treasury appropriated funds to the state of Maryland in the form of the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security CARES Act. The state of Maryland appropriated these funds to various state and local agencies in an effort to cover any necessary expenditures incurred due to the public health emergency. Discussion. These dollars are significant and should be reflected in our FY 2021 budget. The budget adjustment requires a public hearing because it is in excess of $150,000. A $5,405,818.19 positive increase to the Calvert County FY 2021 budget, adopted budget. Conclusion. Staff recommends that after taking public comment, the Board of County Commissioners close the record and sign the resolution to increase the FY 2021 county budget.
Thank you, Commissioners. There are still 5 callers on the line. So there are 2 members of the public that have participated. You'll ask to press star 9 if you wish to comment on this public hearing.
There are no speakers.
So, Commissioners, this is one where staff has a recommended motion before you. You're welcome to adopt it or amend it.
Mr. President, I make a motion to close the record and sign the resolution to increase the fiscal year 2020 county budget.
Second.
So can we amend the motion to include the detail in the budget? Make sure that staff does that.
To,
I think we're going to come back and give you a whole
Right.
picture.
Just for the, just for purposes today, we just want to make sure that staff has direction to provide that detail. And we do anticipate that
Okay.
presentation. But
Commissioners, Mark Willis, County Administrator, staff has that detail. For this purpose, they didn't include that, but the directive is that we bring back that material in detail for your consideration.
Yes.
So I have a motion and a second that we close the record and adopt the resolution approving budget adjustment 370. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Barry.
thank you.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Next item on the agenda is consent, and there are several items that I'm going to run through. Item number 1, Department of Finance and Budget, award recommendation, ITB 2021-061. Department of Public Safety, lease agreement with Cellco Partnership Verizon Wireless. Item number 3, Department of Public Safety, lease agreement with Cellco Partnership Verizon Wireless. Item 4, Department of Public Safety, lease agreement with Cellco Partnership Verizon Wireless. Item 5, Department of Public Safety, termination of Resolution 28-21, extension of declaration of local state emergency. Item 6, Department of Public Safety, Second Amendment to contract with American Towers. So we've adopted those under the approval of the agenda, so those items will be adopted as presented. Next item on the agenda is new business. Item number 1, Department of Parks and Rec, Shannon.
Good morning, Commissioners. Shannon Nazal, Director of Parks and Recreation. The first item that we have for you, new business item number 1, is calendar year 2022 annual Parks and Recreation fee schedule. Background, the Department of Parks and Recreation collects revenues and fees for many programs and facilities throughout Calvert County. This includes everything from summer camps, swim lessons, camping reservations, daily admission, food sales, and more. The Department of Parks and Recreation formalized the collection of these fees through the creation of a policy and manual to guide collection, analysis, refunds, waivers, grants, donations, and scholarship programs. The policy and manual were adopted by the Board of County Commissioners on October 29th, 2019, and are consistent with Chapter 82 of Calvert County Code, the Parks and Recreation Ordinance. Each year, the Department of Parks and Recreation is required to bring forward an annual fee schedule to the EOCC for adoption. Discussion. The Department of Parks and Recreation is recommending changes for calendar year 2022 to account for changes in community needs, program offerings, and the addition of select items inadvertently left off the fee schedule from previous years. Changes recommended in 2022 in the 2022 fee schedule are highlighted throughout the document attached. Recommendation does not include any increases to Calvert County resident fees. Fiscal impact. The Department of Parks and Recreation is charged with collecting revenues and fees for programs, facilities, and services throughout the Calvert County Park System. The impact will vary year to year. However, by having a formalized fee schedule guides the department in proper collection of those fees and allocation of revenues. Conclusion recommendation. Staff recommends that the Board of County Commissioners adopt the calendar year 2022 fee schedule for implementation on January 1st, 2022. I'll take any questions that you may have.
Any questions?
No.
Motion?
Mr. President, I make a motion to adopt the calendar year 2022 fee schedule for implementation on January 1st, 2022.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve and adopt the calendar year 2022 Parks and Recreation fee schedule for implementation on January 1, 2022. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Next item under new business, item 2, Department of Parks and Rec.
Yes, sir. The new business item number 2 is the Program Open Space Annual Program Plan for fiscal year 2022. Background, Calvert County is required to submit a Program Open Space, POS, annual program to the Maryland Department of Natural Resources and the Maryland Department of Planning each year before July 1st in order to remain eligible for POS funds. Title 5, Section 5-905 of the Natural Resources Article of the Maryland Annotated Code. Municipalities may submit their programs through their county. Calvert County submits municipal projects on behalf of the towns of Chesapeake Beach and North Beach. The annual program includes proposed acquisition and development projects. A project is not eligible for POS funding unless it is listed in the annual program. There are more projects listed in the annual program than are ever likely to be funded given available resources. Listing a project does not constitute a commitment on the part of the Board of County Commissioners or the municipalities, and the list can be amended at any time. Discussion. There are two documents attached for review: the Calvert County Fiscal Year 2022 Program Open Space Annual Program and the FY22 Program Open Space Annual Program Project Descriptions. Projects that will be requesting funding in fiscal year 2022 include A-24, Land Preservation Parks and Recreation Plan Development, $25,000, D-4, Cove Point Park, $150,000, D-7 Harriet Elizabeth Brown Community Center, $300,000, and D-9 Breezy Point Beach and Campground, $100,000. The Planning Commission reviewed the FY 2022 POS annual program at its meeting on June 16, 2021, to ensure the proposed projects are consistent with the Calvert County Comprehensive Plan adopted in 2019 and provide its recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners. The Planning Commission unanimously approved the FY 2022 POS annual program projects as consistent with the Calvert County Comprehensive Plan as adopted in 2019. As recommended, that the BOCC approve the FY 2022 Program Open Space annual program. Fiscal impact is to be determined. Projects are funded via the county's capital improvement program, the municipality's budgets, program open space grants from the states, and/or grants from the federal government. Conclusion recommendation is to approve the FY 2022 Program Open Space Annual Program and project descriptions and authorize submittal to the Maryland Department of Natural Resources and the Maryland Department of Planning. Any questions?
Questions?
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the fiscal year 2022 Program Open Space Annual Program and project descriptions and authorize submittal to the Maryland Department of Natural Resources and the Maryland Department of Planning.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second to approve the FY 22 Program Open Space Annual Program and project descriptions and authorize submittal to the Maryland Department of Natural Resources and the Maryland Department of Planning. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Item 3, Director.
Shannon, you are popular today.
I try to get them all on one day. That way we can just knock them out. The next item, new business item number 3 is mobile food service facility agreements. Background: in June 2019, the Board of County Commissioners approved the calendar year 2020 fee schedule, which added rates for mobile unit food service facilities. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the implementation of this process was put on hold until recently. Parks and Recreation worked in conjunction with the County Attorney's Office to develop an application process and non-exclusive mobile food service facility agreement to allow these mobile food service facilities to vend on county park property. Agreements are valid for 1 year and permit the vendor to sell food and non-alcoholic beverages throughout that time period with applicable payments for each day of use. Rates are currently $25 per day, Monday through Thursday, and $50 per day on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and holidays. The 1 year agreement saves the vendor time in submitting proper documentation only once that is valid throughout the year. Discussion: in late May 2021, applications and documentation were received for activities scheduled in late May and early June 2021. To allow activities to still occur, these agreements are being requested to be ratified after the first activities have taken place. All appropriate documentation has been received for Heidi's Eats and Sage's Treats. This vendor has provided mobile food services at Dunkirk District Park. Fiscal impact: fees collected for mobile food service facilities will be deposited into revenue for Fund 5. Conclusion recommendation: staff recommends that the BOCC authorize the President to execute the attached mobile food service facility agreement for Heidi's Eats and Sage's Treats and authorize the Director of Parks and Recreation to execute future mobile food service facility agreements for park facilities on behalf of Calvert County. Any questions?
So she'll be the single vendor for all the parks?
No, these are non-exclusive agreements. So this is just one vendor that has completed the agreement process, but it is open to any food service, mobile food service facility throughout the county and beyond that would like to service any of our park facilities, that they would complete this agreement. And as it's non-exclusive, we have designated specific areas within the parks that we've pre-approved for locations to make sure that they have the amenities that they need and they're not taking up parking that could be needed, that if they're using a generator that they're doing it safely, and just more appropriate areas for those food trucks within the parks. So they're able to complete the application and sign the agreement. And what I'm asking today is that in addition to this one that we have on file right now for signature, is that any future ones that we do receive to allow the director to sign on behalf of the county, so we can allow more vendors to be able to have this service for our citizens without it having to come back to the board every time with this template agreement.
So are you still operating concessions in those parks?
We are not. We do not have a contractor for the district parks. We only operate concessions currently at Breezy Point and Cove Point Pool.
So this is to replace, and you've already done that, to replace your permanent concessions.
That's correct.
operations.
That's correct.
And you're not limiting to one, it's whoever wants to show up whenever?
Right. Once they have the agreement, then they're able to choose the dates that they would like to come out there, and then they would pay the applicable fee for those days.
Right. Just want to make sure everybody's clear, it's not an exclusive that
That's
anybody can
correct.
participate.
That's correct. Everybody can participate.
And
Yes.
there's no limit, if they show up and there's 5 other trucks there, then that's just how it works out.
Right. We will let vendors know that if we do have multiple trucks for one location at any one specific time, we will let them know so that way they can make that choice for their business if that's best for them.
So is there a way to post like a calendar where they would go to apply so that they could see?
We would have a calendar available for them. It's not something that we would probably be posting online just for unless that's something that the community is interested in, for us to do that and keep track of that, because it is something very fluid. But we will have that information for vendors as they sign up with their agreement.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about a vendor, you know, it would save a phone call if they could just look to see who's scheduled for which parks and which days.
Right.
Otherwise, they'd have to call and say, hey, is anybody there? Or how many are there?
Right. Well, they would have to have the agreement on file, the approved
Understood.
agreement on file for that.
Right.
And we don't want vendors thinking that they can go out to the park without an agreement in place.
Right, that's right.
To just show up and say, hey, nobody's at the park today, I can go out there.
Right.
So we want to make sure that we keep communication with these vendors. So we want to be able to keep that method of communication.
First
with them.
step is get the agreement.
Absolutely,
That
yes,
opens
sir.
the door.
Yes, sir.
So Shannon, if they have the agreement, then they can service all the parks.
Yes, sir. So basically, once they have the agreement in place, then they would work with our concessions manager, who's in charge of this program, and that individual will be keeping that schedule. So they will work with our concessions manager to choose their dates and to pay the fees for those dates that they would be out there, and they would be given documentation that they're okay to go out there for those
Because like
particular
Commissioner Hanson
dates.
points, you'd hate to see 5 people show at one point and then nobody at any of the other parks, and so to try
And that's up to them too. So the reason that we want to maintain that, maybe not face to face, but voice to voice conversation with those individuals, is to let them know that, hey, we have events going on over here on this day. We don't have anything going on over here this day. There's 4 trucks already planned for this park. You might want to pick another park, or we have a swim meet going on over here that you might want to go to, but we also don't want it to conflict with the concessions that we have going on at the pool. So it's just going to be that conversation back and forth with those vendors to make sure it's in the best interest of all parties.
Right. Because you want to, coordination is very important because,
Yes, sir.
Vendors are an important part of an event.
Yes.
You don't want them to get discouraged.
Absolutely.
So you want to, you
Right.
want to make sure that there's communication, as you say, back and forth, that they
Absolutely.
understand. Being a vendor, I know how that works. You don't want to show up and see 10 other trucks there.
Absolutely. Agreed.
Yeah. So that's good.
Shannon, you have an events calendar though that they can look at.
So we do have that with our special our events and marketing coordinator, who keeps track of all of the events that are happening within parks, and part of that is the communications with even within our staff. So our staff that is in charge of the mobile food truck program as well as our events program, and they keep in communication with each other on what's going on. So if we have an event that's coming up, our events coordinator will then get that information to the concessions manager on, hey, this event is going on. They're having food trucks, to make sure that they're following the right process to be able to do something in one of our parks.
Yeah, because the first question usually is how many people are you expecting?
Correct. Yeah.
Because then you know how many dollars are there.
And then a lot of times we do get questions from, event planners on, hey, do you know anybody? And if we have vendors that already have an agreement in place, we can say these vendors have an approved agreement already, so they're set up for that program, which is also an incentive for vendors to complete the agreement with enough time to be able to work those particular events that come quickly.
Okay. All right. I'm good. Is there a motion?
Yeah. Mr. President, I make a motion that we authorize the president to execute the attached mobile food service facilities agreement for Heidi's Eats and Sage's Treats, and authorize the Director of Parks and Recreation to execute future mobile service facility agreements for park facilities on behalf of Calvert County.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second to authorize the president to execute the attached mobile food service facility agreement for Heidi's Eats and Sage's Treats, and authorize the Director of Parks and Recreation to execute future mobile food service facility agreements for park facilities on behalf of Calvert County. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Director.
And if they need somebody to do some taste testing, we're available.
We will let them know, sir.
Yeah.
Lunch on Tuesday.
Quality assurance.
Item 4 under new business, Director Nazal.
Okay, new business item number 4 is the right of entry agreement with Breezy Point Marina. Background, the Department of Parks and Recreation operates Breezy Point Beach and Campground located at 5300 Breezy Point Road in Chesapeake Beach, Maryland. At the time the property was purchased in 1995, the parcel was split into 2 parcels. The other operated at Breezy Point Marina. At the time of purchase, a septic system for use by the Breezy Point Marina remained on the parcel of Breezy Point Beach and Campground, and an easement was put in place for that septic system to be maintained by Breezy Point Marina. According to Breezy Point Marina, this septic system has now failed and they are not able to utilize it any longer and are working towards a resolution with contractors and the Calvert County Department of Health. Discussion. Breezy Point Marina has been in contact with the Calvert County Department of Health, Environmental Health. A site evaluation, sanitary construction application has been submitted. Environmental Health needs to complete a site evaluation to determine if the site is still viable for a septic system replacement. To move forward with the sanitary/site evaluation, the Breezy Point Marina will be required to hire a licensed land surveyor to stake out the easement located on the Breezy Point Beach property. Once this has been done, the evaluation will be scheduled and conducted. In order to move forward with the staking of the easement site, a right of entry agreement must be executed to allow for the work. No work will be authorized to be completed. Apologies. No work will be authorized to be completed outside of the designated easement and will only be authorized while county staff are present. The agreement will be in place for up to 1 year. Fiscal impact. There is no fiscal impact to the county by executing this agreement. Conclusion recommendation. Staff recommends that the Board of County Commissioners authorize the President to execute the right of entry agreement with Breezy Point Marina for the purpose of entering 5300 Breezy Point Road, Chesapeake Beach, Maryland, to address septic issues on the easement upon the county property. I'll take any questions.
Well, I think, Shannon, this is something that has to be done. And as you said, it's possible we could have some inconveniences to the public, but it's something that, I mean, it's a health issue. It has to happen, so.
So Commissioner Congy, you were out of the room for a minute. Could you hear all of this?
Yeah, I heard everything.
Good. Thank you.
You can actually
other
hear it better in there than you can out here.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. A motion, please.
Mr. President, I'll go with staff's recommendation that the Board of County Commissioners authorize the President to execute the right of entry agreement with Breezy Point Marina for the purposes of entering 5300 Breezy Point Road, Chesapeake Beach, Maryland, to address septic issues on the easement upon the county property.
Second?
I have a motion and a second to authorize the President to sign the right of entry agreement with Breezy Point Marina. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
I believe you're done.
I am.
Director.
Yes,
We,
sir.
we
Thank you.
tested your reading skills today, and you did very well.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. That was
Item
a lot of,
5.
that was a lot of reading. Yeah.
Mr. County Administrator, you're up.
Commissioner, we have, Mark Willis County Administrator, we have the Jeff Murray is on Teams, ready to provide you the information necessary.
We see his lovely face.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Today, the Marine Museum brings to you for approval, hopefully, the fiscal year 2022 Board of Governors budget. Background, in 1979, the county took control and ownership of the Calvert Marine Museum, CMM, as a division of county government. Resolution 22-79, the enabling legislation and operating document, defines the purposes and goals of the CMM, establishes a Board of Governors, or BOG, and authorizes an internal budget using funds generated by CMM, among other things. Board of Governors is made up of 15 people and is appointed by the Board of County Commissioners. Enclosed for your review and approval is the proposed Board of Governors FY 2022 budget request for Calvert Marine Museum. The Calvert Marine Museum Board of Governors approved this proposed budget at their May 5, 2021 meeting. Discussion. Board of Governors budget usually relies on earned income from admissions, program fees, which includes camps and field trips, and an annual budgeted transfer of funds from the CMM Society budget. However, with the circumstances regarding COVID-19 and the uncertainty of lifting restrictions at the time the budget was adopted, BOG is projecting to earn less income than in previous years past. Therefore, the BOG FY 2022 budget is relying on income produced from a COVID relief specific donation and transfer of some restricted unused funds to cover the deficit. The budget is audited each year by the same firm that audits all county funds, and an annual income and expense statement is sent to the County Department of Finance and Budget. Although the county serves as the pay agent for employees shown in the budget, all employee expenses are reimbursed to the county by CMM. The county budget revenue line for the BOG reimbursements is matched by the BOG expense lines for salaries and benefits. This is a balanced budget of $471,960 funded by earned revenue and donations. First page is a summary of the BOG expenditure budget, followed by detail by expenditure categories. The final page is a summary of the revenue sources, and the BOG budget is supported solely by earned income and private funding and does not impact the county's general fund. Fiscal impact is none, and our conclusion and recommendation, staff respectfully request that the BOCC approve the Board of Governors FY22 budget as recommended by the Calvert Marine Museum Board of Governors. I also have our business manager, Roxy Welch, on the line should you have questions, but I am happy to take your questions.
Questions?
No, sir.
No? Everything looks in order, Jeff.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for, this is one of the few county facilities that actually funds itself. It's very
In
appreciative.
some ways, and we are grateful for your support. Thank you.
Well, and we're glad to give it. Chair would entertain a motion.
Yes, Mr. President, make a motion that the Board of County Commissioners approve the fiscal year 2022 budget as recommended by the Calvert Marine Museum Board of Governors.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the Board of Governors FY 2022 budget as recommended by the Calvert Marine Museum Board of Governors. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you,
bud.
commissioners. Have a wonderful day.
Keep up the good
too.
work. So the next item on the agenda is public comment.
And moments ago, there were still 5 callers on the line. So assuming that those 2 callers would like to provide public comment, please press star 9 and be patient until it's your turn to speak. It shouldn't be too long. Speakers will be identified by the last 4 digits of their phone number and unmuted one at a time. You'll be asked to state your name and address. And if you're providing comments as an individual, you'll have 2 minutes. If you're the designated representative of a group, you will have 5. So please press star 9.
Caller 6106, we are ready to receive your comments. Please state whether you are an individual or speaking on behalf of a representative group. Please press.
Hello, good morning. I'm Dr. Sandra Raviz from North Beach, speaking as first Vice President for the League of Women Voters of Calvert County. The League would like to express our strong support for the police reform efforts reflected in the Police Accountability Act of 2021. This in no way undermines the hard work of our local law enforcement personnel, nor does it ignore their substantial contributions to the safety and well-being of our community. That said, we now have a unique moment to pause, to reflect, and to address long-standing issues that have caused pain to some members of our community. Review of policing procedures is not unlike oversight of healthcare or education systems. They all need regular scrutiny to keep improving. What is different about the police accountability legislation is that it emerged from the grassroots involvement of citizens, people who did not have police training, but who did have their own lived experience of law enforcement. This fact should not disqualify their concerns. Going forward, the League urges the commissioners to accept this opportunity for genuine reflection, leaving behind any preconceived ideas or old ways of doing business that no longer serve. The selection of a police advisory board and any other committees or panels associated with it needs to be done with transparency through every stage of the process. Public input is not only important, it is essential for this effort to succeed. And here I refer you to an earlier League study produced in 2014 on transparency in government, which is available on our League website. The choice of individuals using a nuanced vetting process that taps their attitudes and beliefs and reasonable term limits for their service are all critical elements of a sound and effective police advisory board. We wish you success in this important work and are available to assist in any way that we can. Thank you.
Thank you. If the other caller would like to provide comments, star 9 to raise your hand. You'll be identified by the last 4 digits of your phone number.
Caller David, we are ready to receive your comments. Please state your name and address whether you're speaking as an individual or a designated representative of the group.
Hi, yes, my name's David Harris. I'm speaking as an individual. I'm like to address the Board of Commissioners about the Naval Research Lab in Chesapeake Beach and the PFAS contamination from the decades worth of firefighting testing and training activities that they had on the base and the contaminated water levels. I had previously, earlier in the month, copied 2 of the commissioners on a email plea or request that I sent out to MDE as well as local House and Senate representatives for the state, and as I said, 2 of the commissioners to try and get government engagement on this. The Navy is taking a slow process of investigating and trying to find out the extent of the spill. Well, not spill, but the contamination in the groundwater and surface water. But they know that they have the PFAS contamination, and I feel the Navy needs some nudging from local, state, and state agencies to get the Navy to go from their slow testing process that's been taking place over a period of 6 years now, I think, or since 2017 or 18, to now, to get them to be more proactive in remediation instead of continuing to test, how far is it? Because currently they have contaminated the shallow water well on our farm, family farm, and they are allowing PFAS contaminants coming out of the groundwater from the streams.
Thank you, caller. That is time, but so if you would please wrap up your comments.
Yes, that they're allowing this PFAS to leave from the streams to the bay. And just as of yesterday, there was a report that the town of Chesapeake Beach is now finding PFAS at their swimming beach in Brownies Beach. And I'd like to get the commissioners to get involved in this to represent the county citizens. Thank you.
Are there any other callers on the line?
Thank you. There are no additional speakers up in here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So at this time, we have commissioner reports. Commissioner Hart.
Well, it's been pretty exciting down my way. You know, last year I called Director Vassallo because we had saw video of a potential shark off the beach, and then it was confirmed that it was, which I'm sure they're out there. I just choose not to see them. And then a few weeks ago, I was on the boat and I saw more dolphins than I've ever seen my entire life down here. In fact, to the point to where when we were going with the boat, they were actually jumping in the wake. It was pretty spectacular to see. And when I thought I had seen it all, then we had a visitor, an alligator, or whatever, technically, gator, crocodile, gator, whatever. And I'm sure DNR will have more information to follow. I cannot imagine he's born and raised, so, and rather sizable, I guess close to 8 feet. So there will be more information there. I can tell you I have walked that beach 80 million times in my life, and
Never seen alligator.
never seen an alligator. So that was pretty eventful. We had a neighborhood watch meeting down there at CRE with some residents, and that was a lot of good input. Just good to see people involved. So outside of that,
Thank you.
So it's funny you talk about alligators. My one son's moving to college in Florida, and we were looking for apartments, and all the lakes and ponds have fences around them, and it says "Don't feed the alligators."
Oh, yeah.
You know, and the first thing you want to do is you want to feed the alligator. You know, but yeah, so that's pretty wild. I would imagine that was somebody's pet that got loose down there.
I don't know. I'm very curious to what DNR says. So.
Yeah. Well, I had the honor of doing the ribbon cutting on behalf of the board up at the new Dunkin' Donuts in Dunkirk. So I'm sure that drive-through line will be very busy. In fact, she told me that Dunkin' Donuts will not even put in a facility now without a drive-through. So I think the drive-throughs are becoming a big thing in the county. I mean, in the state with the COVID and everything, and keeping the businesses alive. So I think we're going to see more businesses wanting drive-throughs. And I just wanted to wish, yesterday was Ruthie Buckler's birthday from the
happy
commissioner's
birthday.
office. So just wanted to wish her a happy birthday again.
I wish we had a cake.
Well, it's never too late. It's never too late for cake.
Willis Bakery might find something there.
Cupcake.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all?
Yep.
Thank you. So we just had public comment, and we tried to provide an opportunity for citizens to call in, and if you watch regularly, you'll see that we all laugh because we always have more callers on the line than people that want to talk. So we laugh about that every week, and I, like every one of us, can't wait to get this courthouse opened up so we can get people in here in person and face to face. It's today that we had a significant crowd when we first started, and it's from our perspective, that's a good to see. It's no fun sitting here by yourself facing a camera. So we look forward to that. And one caller called in about the police accountability law that was passed and our responsibility. And we have started to work on that. And I can assure all of you that transparency is our #1 focus in this process. So you'll be hearing more about that as we move forward with that project. But I just want to make sure everybody understands we are going to be as transparently as humanly possible in this process because we understand that it can't be successful without public input. So And the last thing is CARES funding. If you were watching in the meeting, the presentation on CARES funding where we had amended the budget to include that money. We are going to have a presentation in the future to detail where a lot of that money is gone and what we've used it for to help the citizens of Calvert County. So I want you to look forward to that. And I'm going to call Comcast out now. I've been trying for weeks to get Comcast in here to give us an update because as you all will recall, last March we adopted a plan to have every citizen in Calvert County be hooked up to internet, and we were told that project could be done in 18 months. Today, I can't tell you where they are in progress on that. We've been trying to get somebody in here to give us an update, and that hadn't happened yet. Staff's saying they're coming the 27th of July, so if you have an interest in that project, you should tune in on the 27th of July. But it's not for a lack of effort to get them in here to see where they are and make sure they're still on schedule to get this done because it's very important to us and to all of you. So we're working on that as hard as we can. And the last thing I have is July 4th, as I mentioned earlier in public service announcements, is coming up. We want everybody to be very safe. Enjoy the holiday as best you can and remember why we're celebrating. It's the independence of this country. So it's a very important holiday, but enjoy yourselves, but be safe. So with that, I will conclude and yes.
And everyone have a happy July 4th.
Entertain. Well, Commissioner Weems isn't here and he normally does the motion for executive session.
I don't have that motion.
We could have a vague motion, right? We don't need all the details.
County Attorney?
Commissioner Weems.
We would prefer if the board would pass a motion to go into executive session for 3-305B8 to discuss pending or threatened litigation by just saying so moved.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second that we go into a executive session according to some statute. Any discussion on that motion?
No, sir.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. See, we need Commissioner Weems.
We do.
So,
We do.
Commissioner Weems is on vacation today. He's not ill, so we want to wish him all the best. And I want to wish all of you have a great day. Thank you very much.